hello. Well, hello. How are you tonight? Welcome, welcome, welcome. You have joined us at the charge room tonight. Tonight is Thursday night. And what is Thursday? The night we come to talk to the men. So every Thursday, we come to the charge room to open the floor for the men tonight at the men's locker room. Where is my king? So come on in. Come on in, y'all. Come on in. It is 7 o'clock. I'm excited. We are here to talk to the men tonight. And what we do is laugh, joke, play. We get serious. We bring topics for men by men. And we just keep it real as possible. We definitely like to be authentic. So tonight's topic, we're going to talk about horror story dates, right? And some may not have had horror story dates, but they have had horror stories relationships. So I'm going to let them talk a few, but I got a little surprises too. So we're gonna integrate this group tonight, or a little pop up people in here. So we're gonna pop in and out with different people with different stories. And what we do is we give experiences. Yep, that's what we do. We give our experiences and we share them. So hopefully you will see your story in one of our stories and see how that looks and then compare it, dissect it, think about it, write it down. But what we do, we don't just talk about it, we come up with some strategies and solutions, right? So, yes, my name is Eliasa Simpson. I am the CEO of the Charge Room District. Oh, God, I'm all over the place right this second because I'm thinking about the CEO district. Oh, please. Again, my name is Eliasa Simpson. I am the CEO of the Charge Room, also known as Minister Charge, also known as Coach Illy. And what we do, we talk about real things, real people, real issues all the time. And it's all about healing. When we speak, it's about healing. It's about being honest with yourself. It's about being committed. It's about saying yes to yourself, celebrating yourself. I constantly speak the same because when you speak and you continue to speak and you start to see what you speak, you manifest and you can speak life over your life. There is not a life that you cannot have for yourself, but you must open your mouth and speak. God is always a closed mouth does not get fed. So speak life. Speak life. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to like our Facebook page. Yes, we're going to like it. The Charge Room. Follow me on the Charge Room. You can follow me, Eliasa Simpson. You can follow me on the Charge Room page. You can follow me. We also have a Charge Room community. So just go in that search bar and type in the Charge Room community and invite yourself and I will definitely let you in. So we talk about again different topics. We, go back and forth. Everyone shares. We have some inspiration, empowerment, and some education. I also provide different situations and assist with some solutions. So you never know what you can find out. Come join our charge room community. We also have Instagram. So follow us on Instagram, right? We also have YouTube. Follow and subscribe to us on our YouTube page. Everything titled The Charge Room. And you are also looking at a national radio talk show host for iHeartRadio. And I also there am on every Sunday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am there, the Charge Room show every Sunday. So come check me out on iHeart Radio. So we are going to bring on the Kings tonight and we're going to talk about it. So tonight we have King Shamel. He's new to the platform to this week. King Father Wise. We have King Herman. We have King K Wise.
Oh, it look like it's
We
going
are
to be
here,
a party.
gentlemen. Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Peace. How
How
y'all?
are
Hey,
you
We good,
tonight?
Queen. We good,
What's
Queen. How you
going on?
feeling?
What is
Kings.
what
look like it's going to
Peace.
be a party.
we
Welcome
we
to the
is
party,
bound
King Ja.
Peace.
Hey,
What's
bro,
going
man.
on? Wise? How y'all, man?
Yeah, you already.
So tonight, gentlemen, tonight we are here to talk about horror story dates, right? Horror story dates. And people don't like to talk about it because they like to hide from them, they like to run from them. But guess what? Sometimes horror story dates could show up and let somebody know because somebody could take our horror story date, right? And they could be really living that type of life on a regular basis, right? So we want to just point some things out just to make sure horror stories don't remain the stories of our lives. We have choices, and your choice in life should not be to be happy, right? Your choice in life is not to be happy because happiness should already exist inside of you. Happiness is not something that you go to be. Happiness is something that's in your heart, in your soul, in your spirit. Walk with happiness, talk with happiness, right? So happiness is something that you should not have to fight for. But there may be some people that may be experiencing relationships with either themselves or others that's, in our opinion, a horror story, and they think and they are living that life on a regular basis. So let's um, talk about some situations because we just never know who we could touch and have them pivot and change their lives. So King Herman, what's going on, King Herman? What's going on, King Herman? So what we going to do is we gonna bring you on first because I'm gonna take everybody off, right? It's just gonna be me and you.
All
It's
right.
just gonna be me and you right now. So, Brother
All right.
Herman,
All
King
right.
Herman.
Can you hear me?
So
Can you hear
we
me?
all I can hear you well, sir. I can hear
All right.
you well. So, again, we talking about horror story dates or horror story relationships, right? And that's just something that should not be the goal, right? So tell us about your horror story date. So I'm going to give you the floor, sir. Okay?
I got you. I got you. Well, you know, just I'm good with talking to, people on the phone, good conversation on this. So me and this young lady that my man hooked me up with, we talking, we going back and forth, sound good. So I'm like, well, where you live at? She's like, I live in the Bronx. Now, when I was like, still fresh in college, I never really traveled to the Bronx. Last time I traveled to the Bronx, I was playing basketball and I went to a tournament out there where I almost saw somebody get their life ended. But so yeah, so I get on a train, go all the way out there, get to the crib. She tried to pass me off to her friend. It was not my type of cup of tea. And it was her friend's birthday, so her friend was trying to get me to sleep with her. But I was like this, nah, that's all right. I'm going home. And left it at that. Um, Another, for me, that was horrible because it's like, the distance. And I wasn't driving and didn't take long on the railroad, just straight bus to the E, switch over, catch the 4 and go all the way deep. So, but yeah, but that was one. Um, Another one that I had was, you know, once again, talk to somebody on the phone. And you meet them in person and you're like this, this ain't gonna work. And, just turn around and just went back home. So, few disappointments, few horrors, but nothing, else, beyond that. But yeah, so that's been the holidays that I've, attempted to go.
So your holidays are when you get on the phone and you talk, with the queens, they're one way. But then when you take that long ride to go present yourself and they present themselves to you, that presentation just was not too appetizing. Is that what you're saying, Brother Herman?
That's what I'm saying. Could have stayed home and had water.
So how did you attract these ladies on the phone? How did you come to meet them on the phone?
Well, one was a hookup from my man. And so, my man was like, yo, yeah, I got somebody for you. Yo, yeah, she's good looking, painted a, beautiful picture. So the first one, she actually did look good. But then when we got there, just like what happened on the phone was no longer there. And so the community, I was like this, ooh, you cute, but there's nothing. So, it just didn't flow. And then, her friend was in the thing. So it was just like, I think she really had me come so that I could be a present for her friend for her birthday.
Oh, and that was not an appetizing gift, huh?
Nah.
Not at all, huh, Brother Herman?
Nope.
Okay, so the moral of this story is, make sure that the person that you're speaking to over the phone is appetizing before you take that long trip out to go see them, right?
Yeah, but Yasa, we good now because there's FaceTime.
That was my next move. That was my next move, Cameron. Now there is FaceTime that you can say, video chat me. That's FaceTime. We can talk about it, right? We can have how about this? We can have a little bit more conversation before we actually hook up and connect, right? Look, save the trouble. Save the money for the transportation, save the time for the transportation, and save your heart from getting snatched and say, oh my God, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Brother Herman, thank you. So next we're gonna bring on Brother Josh Amel. Josh Amel coming on deck.
Pace, how y'all doing?
Sir, good evening.
Good evening. How y'all doing?
I see you already. Right now.
Yeah, because I think I just have like one incident like that was wild to me, like a horror story, I'll say. My older brother was dating a female in Glen Cove. This had to be like mid-90s. And she had a friend or whatever. So, he put me on to the friend. We talking on the phone or whatever. And we go out there. We introduce, introduce. She didn't have no teeth from here to the whole left side was gone. Like gone. Like the front tooth, the vampire tooth, the back molars, everything was gone. And she was like eating a hot dog and it looked like she was screwing it from like the right side of the middle. So, we all the way out there. I already know in my head ain't nothing finna jump off. So, being 5%ers, we always say we don't eat pork or what have you. So she was like, yo, whatever you want to do, I'll be your herb, I'll be your queen, whatever you want. If you bring me to your mom's house and she cooking chitlins, I'm gonna eat chitlins. I said, you ain't gotta worry about going to meet my mom's because my mom's got jokes. And if you go in there with half your molars gone, it's a wrap. And it always and then say I grew up on the same block, like with Father Wise. We always joke around and what have you. So that was a no-go. I could not bring a chick around that didn't have no teeth. Like I've never seen somebody with like the top and bottom whole left side was missing. Like you might have a tooth missing here and there, but the whole left side was gone. I was like, damn, that's gone, like missing in action. Like and and the conversation was real peace, you know what I'm saying? Everything was real cool, you know, on the phone, we talk, whatever. And then when I seen her and she went to talking and all the teeth was going, I was like, and mind you, we in our 20s at the time. So you in your 20s and your whole, like the whole side of your house is missing. Like the whole front is gone.
With no furniture.
No
furniture. No furniture at all.
Like Rent-A-Center came and took everything. You know what I'm saying? So everything gone. So I'm like, man, you know, I try to stay polite about the situation, you know, not crack no jokes, but I couldn't stay there. I couldn't stay there that much longer. Like I just really couldn't do it. You know, I had to make up an excuse, you know what I'm saying? My brother was, you know what I'm saying, he was cracking jokes about it, you know what I mean? But I was out. I just couldn't do it. You know what I mean? I just really couldn't do it. And then when she went to eating a hot dog, I was done. Like I've never seen like trying to eat it from one side, and I was like, oh, I'm out. I'm out. She gonna mess around and choke herself on sauerkraut.
You couldn't hold it together.
No, I couldn't hold it together. She gonna mess around, choke herself on sauerkraut. I don't know first aid. None of that. So I was out. I was out. I wasn't gonna do it. You know what I mean? But that's my horror story, you know. And at least that's the one I can
remember. Back in the 90s, I'm just grateful for modern technology now, because just like King Herman said, we can FaceTime you, bro. Like, let's get the FaceTime together, because I can see what we doing before we doing it, right? Let's save money and time. Just period.
Because driving all the way from Roosevelt to Glen Cove, like, and then taking the chances with that for call the police. Oh my goodness. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So
I understand.
That was definitely my horror story. That was definitely my horror story.
Okay, so let me bring the next king on here next to you. Let's see. Father Wise, King Wise, how are you?
Yo, peace, Queen, peace, Ja. Yeah, Ja did the right thing. Yo, I'm backstage. I'm in tears right now. Like, I literally just had to wipe the tears from because Ja actually lived on the corner. Like, I lived here, Ja lived in the corner house. And if he would have brought her down there, yo, he would have never heard the end of it. Never. Well, I'll just sit there. No teeth, huh? Yo. My horror story is that, check this one out, right? Yo, so I met this girl when I was upstate and we were pen pals. So now it's time for me to come home, right? And I met her. Like, she must have sent me an old picture or something. Yo, so I go up to the Freeport train station to meet her because we're gonna go have lunch. Yo, so when the train pulled in, I was standing there down the escalator. So she comes down the escalator, and all I hear is, like, she called me by my old name. You know, she was like, oh, yo, cool, Chris, what's up? Yo, she was about, yo, she was like 5'2", and she had to be like 250, right? I was just like, oh, snap. Yo, no way. And I just found it wondering why she kept sending pictures from here up. I hear y'all laughing, right? She kept sending pictures from here up. Never full body shots, no nothing. I was just like, I just thought it was kind of straight. But, you had a pretty face. But, 5'2", 250? I was like, like, So being, like John said, being 5% is like we always be respectful and just make the best of the situation. So we went to go eat, and boy, did she eat, right? She definitely was not shy, and she wasn't one of the salad chicks. Oh man, she put down two big ass turkey burgers and a large fry and a big I mean, a big two. I wasn't even finished half my burger before she finished 1.5 of hers, and I was just sitting there like this. I'm like, oh man, like I was gonna just ask, like, yo, the hell with this food. Do y'all have a trough? Like, can we just put her near the trough, like, so she could just gorge herself to death, right? And it was horrible, horrible. Like, and that ain't even the worst story, right? That was just one, you know, the the last one that was a really good doozy was a really good doozy. So, like, the girl, she didn't tell me she didn't say she was bipolar, right? And it looked like a scene out of Friday. I'm not for real. Like, she would be sitting there, and then all of a sudden she'd be like, and I'd be like, "Oh, you okay?" She goes, "Nah, yeah, I'm fine." Like, just that little nervous tick, and it was either bipolar or Tourette, one or the other. But I was like, "Yo, you know what?" She started just really looking like, and I was like, "Ooh!" So I got up, I went to the bathroom, and I kept it moving. Right, like I never went back because I got scared. I ain't gonna front, because that little tick and saying stuff under your breath, like I couldn't. So
So
that's
where'd you meet her at?
basically.
So where'd you meet her at? How did y'all connect?
Well, do you really gotta? If I tell you, you're gonna think I'm crazy as hell, right?
No, listen. These are horror stories. We're gonna talk about it.
I should have known something was wrong with where I met her at. This is why I don't want to say, because y'all gonna think I'm crazy as hell, right? So she.
Well, we already know that. We already know. We already know.
I met her at my therapist's office.
Okay.
I should have known.
But that doesn't mean you're crazy.
No, well,
because you go to the.
No, I know that now, but it was just, I met her at my therapist's office. She was sitting in the waiting room to go see the other guy, and I was waiting to see my therapist, and we was just kicking it, talking, laughing, and she seemed like she was all, she seemed like she was, you see the private inbox. That's okay, y'all. And I just should have known something was wrong, like, and I just didn't. I just took a chance, and that was it, really, because I was scared. So
there's nothing wrong with having a conversation with anyone. Oh. It does not matter.
Facts.
Humans need humans all the time, right? Right.
Facts.
All right. So let me get another king up here. King K Wise, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Man, I don't even know why you brought me on last. I should have went first. Get it out the way. All right, this gonna be crazy. I know I'm gonna get some lot of comments on this in the inbox. But anyway, back in the days when I was dating, and I was dating this one young lady, and she had some children and stuff like that. They were young, and I'm the type of person that, I'll hang out and do everything, but I love kids. Well, one evening, she just happened to come by my crib. She left the kids in the house unattended. I didn't know. And some stuff had went down. So all of a sudden, I know her moms and sister, they came and knocked on my door. And so I go to the door, and they just like yelling. I'm like, first of all, hello, good evening, whatever. So when they telling me that she left the kids unattended and this, that, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So I was like, I can't deal with nobody that's not going to be responsible. I said, you could have brought your kids over to the house. We could have had a nice night or whatever. So make the long story short, after I broke up. I said I can't do this no more. Broke up with her. She got upset. She got mad crazy like. So she was like, "Don't leave me," blah blah blah, and this, that, and the third. So I was like, "Well, listen, I'm done. I can't do that. Can't do that." So one day she called me over, invited me over for some dinner, and I was like, "All right." So I went over to the crib. Okay, before I left though, I called up my homeboys. I said, "Listen, I'm going over to a girl house." I said I was just gonna go get something to eat and I'm coming back. If I don't come back within the timeline that I'm saying, y'all need to come and check on me or whatever. So they laughed like, yeah, whatever, like ain't nothing gonna happen. So I thought the same thing. So I go over to the house, she talking about don't leave, this, that, and the third. I'm eating and drinking. All of a sudden, everything just went blank, just black, gone. Next thing I know, when I wake up, I got handcuffs. I'm stretched out on the bed, butt naked, TV on and everything. I can't move. My feet is bound, back is bound, my hands is tied, and I'm like, "Yo, what's going on?" And she in the living room, and when she heard me awake, she yelling, "Don't leave me, Wise! You can't leave me!" And I'm like, "Oh snap!" I'm like, "What did I get myself into?" And back then, I just finished watching the movie that came out with Fatal Attraction, that joint. So I'm like, "Oh man, I can't believe I got myself in this kind of craziness." I'm like, "How am I gonna get myself out of this?" And I'm like, "Yo, where my peeps at?" And ain't nobody came to check on me or nothing. So I'm like, she's like screaming. I'm like, "Yo, it's all good." She come in there, she got the long butcher knife. I'm like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Oh man, I really got to think of something now. I really got to think of something." So she was just like still talking about don't leave me, and I'm like, "Nah, I ain't gonna leave you. I ain't gonna leave you." She's like, "I love you, this and that." I'm I said, "Yo, listen, I'm kind of, I don't feel my arms enough. I need you to let my arms go so I can hold you, I can hug you, you know." And she was like, "You ain't gonna do that. You gonna leave? You gonna leave?" Nah, I said, "I ain't gonna leave." I said, "I just need some circulation. I can't feel my hands. I can't feel my hands." So she let one arm go, and I'm waking it so that blood pressure can go through. And I'm like, "Yo, you gotta let this other one go. Come on, baby, come on, come on." I said, "Give me a hug, give me a hug." So she hugging me, but she ain't putting them cuffs. She ain't giving me no keys. I'm like, "Yo, I need you to let this go." I said, "I gotta have you." I said, I need you. I want you right now." I said, "I want you to hold me." So she untied that other one, and she grabbing on, she hugging me, and I'm wiggling, getting that blood circulation in my hand now. And I gotta be truthful. Of course, my mother said to never put my hands on a woman, but my life was in danger. So as soon as I got that feeling, I took her and I just threw her off the bed and tried to reach down and grab and untie myself, my feet and everything, butt naked, everything, right? It's daylight. So I'm trying to get out the house. I'm running out the house butt naked, no clothes, nothing. Banging on people's doors. "Yo, call the cops, call the cops." She crazy, this and that. She come outside with the knife looking like Chucky from Child's Play. "I got you. You can't leave me. You can't leave me." Cops come. My homeboys, all of them come. I butt naked, no clothes, and the cops is out there just having the field day laughing at me. And I'm like, "Y'all serious right now? Y'all laughing at me with this situation going on?" So that was one of my, keep it long and short. That was my one of my horror stories.
But that sounds like your story, and Father Wise' story was, that sound like they was related in some kind of way, because just the thought of the eye. So that's will teach you a lesson. And how did you get to meet her anyway? How did you get to meet this queen here?
um, at a fashion show, she was one of the models
You
there.
speechless?
So
You another one. You another one. How y'all
yeah,
meeting these people here?
and you meet them like everybody got their first impressions. You thinking like everything's good, they talking good, sounding good. So all right, but ooh, Man, that she flipped the whole script on me with that. When I woke up butt naked and the TV was on and I couldn't move, I knew something was crazy. Mm-mm. Let me check these comments. I know
Well,
they
it
about slamming
sounds
me.
like you was eating and drinking at a place you shouldn't have been eating and drinking at.
I know. Sure enough, I shouldn't have. Uh,
Well, she must be a great cook because
well, that she
you
was.
was
She
eating
cooks
well
very well.
and you paid,
Yeah.
and you paid for that.
Nah,
So
that look good.
I wanna bring all y'all back on real quick because I got a quick surprise for y'all. Yeah,
Yo,
Y'all bow. I just saw all the comments. Y'all bow.
go on and eat the cake, KY. Eat the cake, KYs. Go on and eat the cake, anime. Eat the cake, anime.
Oh,
That's what
man.
you get. That's
Yo,
so,
Yo, what
yo,
happened to the kids?
so
what up, John.
now that
I'm so happy you ain't bring her to the block because you would have
yeah.
got
Yeah, you think I'd have brought that to the block, kid? Did you crazy? Man, I already knew what it was. Yo, you know it's bad. Like the wind was blowing and it was like whistling. Like you know how like the whole left side was whistling. Like yo, nah, man.
Oh,
Nah.
yo, hold up. Yo, what about the queen? What about your horror story? We listening.
I think that's a
I
surprise.
was waiting to tell y'all. I
Oh,
was
Oh,
waiting to tell
go
y'all.
ahead.
all right, I'm gonna be
Y'all
quiet.
ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my mic on mute for this one.
Okay, y'all ready? Because my horror story was really a horror story. It wasn't funny at all. So it started out pretty cool, right? And actually, that particular situation pivoted me to be more focused on myself and to be only focused on God, like that particular horror story. So I was home chilling out, watching TV. I got a phone call and he said, "Yes, I need to see you. Come meet me at a restaurant." So met at Rockville Center at that restaurant Wild Ginger, right? So I noticed him came in, he pulled up and I was fond of him for a while, but I wasn't trying to, talk to him at the moment. Because I felt something like was different or wrong. So we get to the restaurant and he's ordering food like it's like his last supper. So he got like filet mignon and lobster tail, and then he got some Hennessy VSOP, 2 shots of that, and he was just eating really well. And I was like, dang, like Brian's eating really good. It's not really his nature to be eating like that. So we just talking and chatting and eating and laughing. And then all of a sudden, the guy comes with the bill. And he was like, "Yo, you got this, right?" And I'm like, "Who?" Like, I don't do this. This is something I just don't do. Like, I don't have a problem paying for a bill. Don't have a problem. Normally, I would do that on a first date. But we cool. We're like, this is not a first date. And you called me. You invited me out. So if you're inviting me, then that means you are paying for it. So evidently, this is what his nature is, that he feels women are supposed to take care of him and cater to him. But, the part of telling somebody beforehand instead of springing them up on somebody, that's a whole different ball game. And again, I'm used to being catered to. So and again, you asked me because I was in my house minding my business watching TV. So when it came in time for the bill and he was like, yo, you got this right? And I was like, no, I don't have this. But because you did it the way you did it, I'm going to pay for it. But you're going to sit here and I'm going to make you eat your life very slowly in front of you. So I antagonized him for the next 30 minutes that we sat there. And then after that, it came to a place where I saw him at a party in Brooklyn. Again, you couldn't get in. I'm in the VIP section and you couldn't even get upstairs. And you needed me to help you get in the building. So it's like people always try to get over in a place where they think they can get over. And it just doesn't look good. Like, it just doesn't look good at all. Like, I've never had somebody like go to a restaurant and like switch up on me like that ever in my life. Again, like, I don't mind paying for any man for any activity. I don't have a problem with that. But it's a discussion that you will have because you the one that's trying to get next to me. So when you get next to me, when you have wrong intentions, how far you think you really gonna get? You don't get far like that. So maybe some women are cool with that, but this queen right here, I'm not cool with that. You know, I'm good on communication. You could talk to me. We can, just go hanging out. Yo, let's go eat. That's never a problem. But not you inviting me out and then when you get to the restaurant, you totally do the switch up. Like, that's a no-bueno right there. So I got somebody else that want to tell a story too. Hold, please.
I
knew it was Angie.
Hey, what's up, love?
What's going on, brothers? What's going on? Peace to the gods. Peace. Josh Jamel.
What's good?
Listen, what's good with you, brother? Listen. Some of y'all stories sound like trauma stories more than horror stories, but I'm just saying. You can't tell me you ain't traumatized, K-Wise. What?
I know he is.
Your wife be like, oh, come on, baby, let's play tricks with handcuffs. You be like, nah. No.
He's still traumatized.
You be like, baby, let me tie you up. You be like, nah.
No.
But then, you know, with me, I asked how many teeth you got from the beginning. Like, yo,
no teeth? A sideways biting a hot dog? Come on, man. What are you doing? Whoa. Come on now.
Yo, that's my word.
Listen.
Yo, that's my word. Yo, it was crazy. Yo, Taki had to pay for that, man.
Somebody had to pay for that. Aisha paying for her bill. So listen, I have like so many freaking horror stories and trauma stories. One story I'll tell you, and then I'm gonna tell y'all like I'll tell you one story, then I'll just kind of flush through the rest. I don't know how old I was. I was pretty young, and I grew up, you know, really not knowing how a woman was supposed to act. So truth be told, I watched Elisha a lot. You know, like I watched how she was all in high school, and I was like, oh, maybe I should walk this way or talk this way. You know, I grew up doing the martial arts and boxing, so I was just a tomboy. So I really didn't know anything about being feminine. And I remember I went out with a group of girls from the job I was working on, and it was like some of the guys, and one of the guys took me home. But I knew him for years because he was good friends with my ex-boyfriend, whom I had dated for 5 years. And so when he offered to take me home, wasn't no big deal. You know, I felt safe with him. Yeah, matter of fact, he dated my ex-boyfriend's sister. So he said, I got to stop by my house for a minute on Park Avenue. So I was like, all right, cool. So he said, listen, I'm not going to let you sit outside in the car. Like, that's, you know, it's too late. You're a young lady. You shouldn't be sitting in the car. And I was like, wow, he's a gentleman. Okay. So I go inside the house and he was like, just sit in the den. I'll be back. He said, because I'm going back out. I was like, no worries. So he said, now I didn't drink. So he said, I want you to taste this drink. Don't worry, I'm not going to give you a lot. He said it has an almond sweet taste to it. And I was like, okay. And he was like, I know you don't drink alcohol. I'm just going to give you a little bit. So I was like, okay. And I tasted it. And he walked away. I don't know how long it took. But whatever date rape drug he gave me, all I remember was fighting for my life. And after that, I was unconscious. That was a hard dream. And when I tell you, that was really hard. And when I woke up the next day, please understand, I said, when I woke up the next day, I was in my bed at my house. He carried me to my house. Well, I was really staying at my father's ex-wife house, but he carried me right around the corner in Roosevelt. And when I woke up, my father's ex-wife said, man, Ange, you were so drunk last night. I was like, I don't drink. She was like, you were so drunk. You know, dude had to carry you up the stairs and put you in the bed. And I was like, wow. So yeah, that was a trauma story for me. That was like, that was hard. That was horrendous, but that was like just terrible. So if any young girls are out there watching, and I tell my daughter, when you go out, don't turn your back on your drink. Don't let nobody get your drink. Like, it's just certain things you don't do. Then for the other stuff, because I've had like some tremendous, man, look, I had some horror stories. But I think in terms of the funny ones, the worst ones is when, oh my God, his brother took me out to eat. Never order food with white sauce. Especially if you're that dude who like eats sloppy and, you know, you got like white stuff all in your mouth and you're trying to talk and it's in the cracks of your, oh, good God. I just, ugh. And the more he talk and he's shoveling food down his mouth, but he just won't stop. And it's just white stuff and he dripping food all over his clothes. Like, don't. That's like, there are first date foods. Like, you don't order pasta on a first date. You don't order saucy things on a first date. So there's like, yeah, like certain things you just can't order on a first date. So look,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Say it again.
You don't want that white stuff in the corner of your mouth.
No,
you know
man.
I don't eat nothing white.
But that's what she's saying. Like,
that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't.
Like, you don't order bananas and shit like that on the first date.
It's just certain things you just don't order. I would say a dude would ask me, he'd be like, so how was your day? And I start to tell him how my day was. And every time I say something, he cut me off. And I'd be like, oh, okay. And then he'll ask me another question. I'll give him an answer and he cut me off. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I just got to a point where I was like, well, I'm so interested. Let's just talk more about you. And he didn't even realize that he didn't know anything about me. I think one time I went on this, I knew this dude for like 25 years. We reconnected. He was like, yo, come by. I want to cook you dinner. I was like, bet. I got to homeboy house. He was like, he had been cleaning all day. There was not a lick of furniture in the house. When I tell you not a lick, like it looked like he was like a real estate agent showing me an empty house. And I was like, oh. And he lived in the house for like anywhere between 12 and 16 years. I'm like, dude, you had like 12 income tax checks. You could have went to Bob's. You could have went to Renter Center. Like, you don't have anything. He didn't have a kitchen table. He didn't have a kitchen chair. He ain't had no couch. He ain't had no coffee table. I was like, how long you been living here? Like, whoa. Then he was supposed to cook me dinner. He said, all right. He said, what you want? I said, anything vegetarian. I said, I'm just happy with a bunch of vegetables. Dinner was supposed to be made. Dinner wasn't made. He went, bought himself some fried chicken, told me go wait in another room while he was in the kitchen eating fried chicken while I got to wait for my food. I was like, listen, so I got this code. When I call my girls, I can't say what my code is. So I got this code. When I call my girls, I'll be like, yeah, so blah, 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 blah. They'd be like, how much time you need? And I'm like, Oh, I don't know, maybe 15. They call me back. We come up with an emergency. I'm out the door.
Oh,
That was
we got
what?
that code too. That's standard. That's standard
Yeah,
operation procedure. We got
You
that.
have a code, but I'm not telling what my code is.
That's the exit plan. The exit
Yeah,
plan.
we always have an exit plan.
Everybody got to have an exit strategy.
Yeah.
I was like, yo. Then another dude took me out. He's like, oh, this is really great. And I was thinking, okay, well, you know, let's go. So we walking. Then he kept trying to hold my hand. Then it was that like little funny hand wrestle. Like he tried to grab my hand and I'm doing this. And he tried to grab my hand. So I was like, okay, this ain't working. So I take my bag, I put it on the other side to try and put space between us. He put his arm through my arm. And I was like, yo, he really just don't get it. He tried to give me a kiss, and I'm like, And he tried to get him, like, come on, man. Then we go through the face wrestle. I'm like, yo, this is like, seriously, dude? Like, first date? Like, come on. Let me tell you, I've had so many stories that are just like crazy first dates, but they go down in history, and I learned a lot of valuable lessons from them. A lot of lessons that scarred me, but a lot of lessons that some of them are just absolutely funny that when I get with my girls, we talk about it.
Here's a lesson that I
Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I learned to make sure that if I ever went on another date again back in the day, I was gonna make sure that they didn't have nothing to eat prior. Their whole system was clean. Because I had one that she just kept farting for no reason at all. And I'm saying it was like conversation. You could hear like try to do them silent ones, like she was trying to squeeze, a sound wouldn't come out. I'm like, I'm sitting there like, yo, are you for real?
Did you get mad at her?
Every conversation, huh?
Were you mad at her? Did you not want to date her again?
No.
Yeah, he cool like that.
Don't nobody want to be around no stinky ass.
Hey, Father Wise, we know you took out again.
I mean, I asked her. I asked her, I'm like, yo, are you okay? I'm like, yo, do you need some Tums, Pepto Bismol, Rolaids, something? What? I mean, what's going on with you?
Yo,
What if she was like? What if she had it together? Everybody passed gas.
No,
not like that.
Maybe she didn't agree with.
Nope.
Yo,
human.
Throughout the entire time in the restaurant, she was
not on the first date.
Blowing.
On the first date, you cannot have gas. You cannot have the hookups. You cannot be perfect.
She was having a bad day.
She didn't even excuse herself. That's
well,
what I'm saying.
if you're having a bad day, then stay home. If you're having a bad day with your stomach, stay home.
Okay, wait, hold on.
You don't know until you eat it.
But wait, she could have been nervous. She could have been nervous.
Well,
she could have been nervous
I
on
can
the
understand
first
if
date.
you're going to be nervous, excuse yourself. Don't stay there.
Maybe she thought it was you.
No.
Yo.
She stayed there and was acting like nothing was wrong.
Was her first date.
Yo, but you know something.
But it could have been hey,
yo, why?
Having a long time.
You know you ain't right.
Hey, K Wise, she might have thought she's seen a relationship with you because a good relationship, you know what I'm saying, lasts with the after the first part. You know what I'm saying? If you could take the first part,
real comfortable.
Real comfortable. If she could sit there and blow it on the first date, she felt like she saw a future with you.
And I mean, let's say if something was wrong, normally you get up there and excuse yourself. I can understand it. But she sat there like nothing wrong, was just kicking it.
Like, yo, you didn't hear that.
Maybe she was afraid she was the most bastards of the day.
Maybe she was afraid.
They thought you was gonna skip out on her when she went to the bathroom.
Well, you know what? I would have skipped out on her fart. She would have been. I'd have been like, let me think. The worst recently.
Yo.
I'm so glad we wearing masks today. I'm so glad we wearing masks today. Yo, just 2 days ago, I met a girl in the store. I smelled her breath through my mask. Through my mask.
That's not funny.
It wasn't. It sure wasn't. And then she had the nerve to be like, "How you doing?" What's happening? What's happening?
Yo, hold on. Like on some serious, like when you talking to somebody on the phone and y'all planning your first date, you got to learn like during the conversations what kind of female that you're taking out, because you can't take every female to like a 5-star restaurant. You know what I mean? You can't take every female, you know what I mean, to White Castles. It's just some things you just got to learn during the situation. You know, I know.
The ends, but some of them happy they sweat. So
right.
You said what? Say it again?
They can't take the White Castles. You know what I mean? Right. So you got to know what you're dealing with. You got to know what you're dealing with. So I know one time, like yo, Wise, you remember the Wisdom from Far Rock I dated that time? I messed around and got dressed, you know what I'm saying? We went to Oceanside to this nice little 5-star joint. She looked at the menu and she was like, yo, they ain't got burgers and fries? You know what I mean? I'm like, burgers and fries. I got
that was a teaching moment.
Right, it was. But when you're older than me,
right?
When you're older than me,
exposure depends on what she was exposed to.
You're never too old to learn. You're never too old to learn. You're never too old to learn.
But when I got on my Stacey Adams, I got on these hard bottoms over here. You know what I mean? I got these Stacey Adams on here. And, you know what I mean? And I got my slacks and I'm going out here trying to, you know, I'm dressing the part. So it's like, I'm thinking, okay, I pull up. You got on jeans and whatever, so I'm like, okay, you gonna change? You know what I mean? Like, because I'm thinking dating. You know what I mean? We're talking about dating. Like, if I knew I was going to Gino's Pizza, it'd have been different. You know what I'm saying?
Get my uptown.
That was a teachable moment. She may not listen, and I'm not making excuses. I'm really not. Like, I want to say that some people are not used to, they haven't been exposed to 5-star. Some people just haven't. And it like real talk, like some people, like somebody thought they was taking me out, like they was bragging because they make XYZ amount of dollars a year. Oh, I'm gonna take you this, and I didn't. I pop bottles. They took me to a first date to Benihana. And I was like,
that's expensive. That's a good price.
No, it's not. That's a good, we're already in a relationship. You know, and then he was like, "You want to go to Fridays?" No, I don't want to go to Fridays. Like, that's not how I eat. But what I'm saying is that your 5-star may not be their 5-star. You're, you know what I'm saying? And if you have not been exposed to it, then it's like some people really think they're fit. Like some people really think that they're fancy. Like you mentioned Stacey Adams. Somebody else be like, "That's trash. I wear Gucci." I'm just saying. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Stacey Adams. I'm simply saying that you never know where people are. And like that was, if she was a nice young lady, and I think that's the biggest thing is that, granted, not everyone is going to be where we are, but is it teachable moments? Like, is this something like if you have a person who orders burgers and fries and she has a good attitude, and she's willing to learn and she's open and she could receive whatever coaching you have for her. Listen, babe, when we go to restaurants like this, you order from this side of the menu. You know what I'm saying? It's like, or you could take a girl who's used to it and she just got a ratchet attitude and she's ordering, you know, everything that's on that side that costs money that she wouldn't even spend for herself.
Fellas.
So just because she knows how to order from the menu don't mean that she's a classy girl. That's all I'm saying.
No.
You know, we have that rule. There's two sides of the menu, right?
That's why I said that side of the menu.
There's that one side where we're cool and you can, but then the other side of the menu, that's relationship material right there. That, like, I don't know, that's I can't say it, but y'all know what I'm talking about, right? That's
We got you.
Right, that side of the menu. If it ain't you, it's gonna be somebody in your family from that side of the menu. Somebody, right? Somebody. I don't care who it is. Neighbor, auntie, you. See, yo, I never forget the one girl I had. The one girl from Brooklyn. I love my Brooklyn chicks, right? Because my Brooklyn chick was like this. I called it, yo, you ready to go out? Yeah. And I was like, she's like, yo, can I wear Timbs? I said, what? I said, we going somewhere class nice. She goes, black Timbs are nice. And I was like, yeah, black Timbs are nice, but not tonight. And she would be like, yo, they be wildin', son. Word, I can't do that. Like, yeah, she's that type, like, yo, call me up. Yo, what you doing? I'm like, nah, I'm chilling right now. She was like, yo, you ain't see me call you? Yo, like, yo, son, if you're not in my house in a half hour, I'm she said, yo, word on a stack. I'm gonna get my cousins and my brothers to come see you. I'm like, yo, wait a minute. I'm on my way. Like, there's no need for calm down. Like, some of these
like you was dating the brat.
Yo, bro, I don't know who she was,
Gangsta boo somebody.
But I was scared. Lady of Rage. Like, I was scared. But at least she had all her teeth.
Hey,
Listen.
And I didn't get tied up and drugged and tied up either.
You got the baby D and Chrome. You got the baby D.
Oh, hold on. Time out.
Hello.
Peace.
Y'all said a mouthful. Y'all said a mouthful, but I'm gonna say something right now, because dating is something that's supposed to be fun. Dating is something that's not supposed to feel like a chore or feel like a horror story, right? Dating is something that you can do with a good heart, with intentions, and just like Angie said, it could be teaching moment for everyone on board, right? And everyone that you date, they're not going to have the perfect situation, but what you're doing is, this is a great time to communicate with one another, have conversations. That's all you got to do. Ask questions. And what we fail to do is, we don't ask the right questions. Sometimes you have to look behind the person that's in front of you and do some critical thinking and say, okay, so just like Joshua Mel saw the girl, like, she has no teeth. Like, that would make you think, like, her hygiene. Like, how is her hygiene? So if you thought you was smashing, the teeth will let you know, okay, so her hygiene may not be up to par. Right? You would have to think about, is she able to speak well? Can she present herself in a way that's acceptable for you? You know what I'm saying? That's acceptable for you or wherever you want to present her at. Right. So, like, so when it's time to present as you want to present, just like you was dressed up with your hard bottoms and she was nowhere near the part that you anticipated, you should have had a conversation with Queen before you even put on your suit to even go pick her up, to even go take her to that restaurant. Right? So we have to be conscious of where our intentions are to make sure they match up with the intentions of the person that we're going to date. Right? So it'll save us time, and it'll save us a lot of money, and it'll save us, lost or broken expectations, right? So again, always communicate. And now with modern technology, communication is very easy. Very easy. You can press that camera box on the top of your phone real quick. So
But can I
when
just ask
somebody
a
gets a
question?
text in, yeah,
Is that a bit intrusive? Like when you first meet a person and they FaceTime you, like how you brothers really feel about that? You just meet a person and they FaceTime you. Like is that? I feel like that's intrusive.
no. I'm not speaking of that. I'm talking about people text first. Is it okay? You ask questions. You
Right.
ask a question. Is it okay? Be polite about it. It's a protocol.
Gotcha.
So yes, if somebody just FaceTimes you, that's very intrusive. Yes, it is. However, again, we are communicating with one another. We making this teachable moments. So with the teachable moments, we are having a protocol. The protocol is you are going to ask a question via text or via a phone call. And you ask, is it okay? Right. Let me see you without your mask on. You're like, can you pull your mask down? Let me see how you look. You want to make sure a person is of your expectation before you even waste your time going to phase 2. Like we could eliminate so much drama before we even can get to first base. And all it takes is a conversation, right? Have conversations. Ask good questions of what you want. Because again, it goes back to what do you want? What do you want on a date? What do you expect on this date? So nothing will fall short of our expectations. You have conversations. Well, babe, I want to take you to a really nice place, and I would like for you to wear a dress and some heels. Maybe she has an issue with that. So if she does, you will scale it back. Okay, well, maybe we go out on a different type of date. Maybe our date will be a little bit more casual because she has a problem wearing heels or wearing a dress or looking sexy according to you. You would scale it back. And then from scaling it back, all you can do is, again, continue to have conversations to suggest and encourage to maybe, because if you really like this person, maybe you can lift her up to where you are in your mind of where you would like her to be with you. Or ask her, what's the ideal date for you? Ask her what that is. Then you can get a better idea of where she is or where he is, right? So it's not just about just going on a date. I met this person, we gonna call up, we come out on it. There's a whole bunch of conversations missing. We could, not us for our feelings to be, a little annoyed or hurt because it's not what we anticipated. Because when I tell you modern technology works, because so many people, they get caught up with the online dating, the people inboxing you, selling them a whole bunch of dreams, and then you find out they from Bangladesh somewhere or Africa, and or all of these scams are going on. But all you got to do is like, yo, could we FaceTime? Like kill all the vibe. Like skip all the thoughts of like, oh, I met this person, they look da 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 da. Pictures are lies, as far as I'm concerned, because there's a whole bunch of people behind these fake pictures up, and there's a group, a set of people that got the same story running. The same story running. The story that they run is a widowed man and they work for the federal government, and they cannot use a camera or take any pictures of any kind. Their child is in college, or their nanny is taking care of the kid, like depending on what age that they say that the child is. But it's the same running story. And I've known women that get caught up in these things, and y'all really going for that. And then the next thing they asking you is for money. And then there's a set of people. This guy, he was so adamantly in my inbox, and he could not stand why I didn't have time for him. He wanted to buy my time. I said, my time is not for sale. I've never known someone so busy. No one is that busy. Yeah, I am. I am that busy. He wanted to buy my time. So what I did was I blocked him. He came back from a different number. I blocked him 3 times, so he came back to me 4 different numbers, and he wouldn't get off the pots because he could not understand how come I wasn't making any time for him. Yo, kick rocks. Anybody that's doing that much, you're doing too much. You're just doing too much. And you got the fake story. I already busted you. In lesson 1, I busted you. And you still trying to get me to understand that this is who you are. You're lying. But there's a whole set of people and they say they live in California, they live in Detroit, they live Pennsylvania. They'll try to act like they live in the States, but they don't. It's a whole slew of them. They kill all that vibe. All you got to do is say, yo, what time are you available for a FaceTime? That kills everything. That's a game over right there. And based on their responses, you'll know if the person is fake or real. Like, we live in a time where you don't have to hide behind anything. Soon as you turn on that camera, boo, you done. It's just game over. So it's like all you have to do is have conversations with people instead of getting all hyped like, oh, I got a date. Somebody want to talk to me. So many people out there are so lonely, and they are just want someone to talk to. They get so giddy about having someone to talk to that they lose themselves in the sauce before you even get to point A. But, you know, this is like a funny topic, but it's a serious topic at the same time, because you never know who is vulnerable out there, is going just like KY's got hemmed up. Oh, girl hit him up with that food and that drink, knocked him out with something, and he ended up handcuffed. That is not funny. It's funny later after you got out. But suppose she took that butcher knife and would have cut off your genitals or something, you would have been jammed up, bruh. Like, jammed up. So it's like you gotta be careful and just have conversations with people. And it just makes sense on how you can move forward and you know, everyone end up. So the time is now 8:09. We went over our time a little bit. I thank everyone for coming on. I'm gonna give everybody a 2-second feedback on giving the community a lesson on not going on any horror dates. So who went first? King Herman. King Herman, come close it out, King Herman.
Well, you live, you learn, and you acknowledge. You sit back and look at it now, you get to laugh, but when you was going through it, it was kind of ill, it kind of hurt. Dating, like you said, it's about asking questions. And once you know what you are looking for and working with, then you can proceed forward. But you're right. Some people mess up the game before they even get to step A. So we still got a lot of people in preschool.
Amen. Who was that? Joshua Mel. King Joshua Mel. What's your finals?
One thing is, peace. Just be mindful of individuals who are coming with their representative. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times in the beginning, individuals bring their representative and not themselves. And then you get caught up in learning who the representative is. And 6 months later, you know what I'm saying, they get comfortable enough and you start learning who the real person is. So you just have to be very mindful in the conversations and the things that you do with individuals, and be mindful of the representatives. That's pretty much what it is.
Oh, real simple. Check their whole facts. Check their whole facts. This is it, right? And what I mean by that is, right, check around, see if anybody else dated her, see what her mind, see if anybody knows this person. You ever seen her before? You ever heard about her? Where she lived? You got to check the whole facts. All right?
Are you saying whole, like
No.
WHOLE? Are you
No.
saying like whole, like whore-ho?
Right. Check the whole facts.
Oh,
H-O-E.
okay.
Check the whole facts first.
Oh, like a Carfax.
Well, why would you want it?
We got whole facts.
Right.
No, it's
That's
just
what I'm trying to say.
no. Listen, I'm not saying
Ideology.
whole. Let
Ideology.
me finish. Right. When I say whole facts, I don't mean why would I be dating a hoe. I'm just saying we check the whole facts. Like that's just it's a guy thing, man. They know what I'm talking about. Like I can't expect y'all to understand it, but you check the whole
party. We'll discuss it.
We'll discuss it at the after party.
Well, I was about to say we're going to discuss that at the after party.
Right.
That girl code too.
Okay, was. King was.
All I'm gonna say is don't judge a book by its cover. Read the fine print. That's all. Read the fine print. There's always another side
Queen
to the story.
Oh man, let's see. Real quick,
Queen Angela.
Real quick, I would say trust your instinct. If it don't feel right, it ain't right. I think sometimes, we'll be single for so long, and we do meet a person. We are excited about, seeing someone and having an experience with someone that sometimes we do. Like we don't pay attention to everything. So if it don't feel right, it ain't right. Like, if you get that little funny inclination and you feel like something's off or something ain't working the way it should, you got to trust your instinct, because at the end of the day, it's a lot of people out here who mean you harm. And you could be of real good intentions, but you never know. You just don't know. And it's not safe. And that's just a truth.
This is true. Thank you so much, Queen. So that is it for tonight for Where Is My King? # the men's locker room. I want to thank everybody for coming in tonight and supporting us as you always do every Thursday in the Charge Room. So the moral of that story while you're dating is to always communicate. It's no harm in having discussion, an adult discussion. If you just sit down and ask some questions, you shouldn't be intimidated with anyone to ask a question. You shouldn't say, oh, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. If you are not asking questions, because if you don't know, how you gonna, you could be setting yourself up for a horror story date. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is open your mouth and ask some questions. Right? So definitely be mindful of what you want and what you expect with your dates. It could be you setting yourself up for failure before you even. So Ask good questions. The other person, meet them where they're at. Make times and moments teachable moments. We have experiences together. You know, maybe someone that hasn't been exposed to a lifestyle that you desire. Maybe the person that you meet lives a lifestyle that you are not used to, but you also have to be coachable and wanting to learn from the other person that you thought was maybe below your standard. Because people meet people for a reason, their own intent, you know, meeting and moving forward. But again, always, always, yes, always take time and get to know people before rushing in to something that you will regret. We don't want to sit and be sorry on the sorry bench. Just take your time and speak. If you like somebody, let them know. Don't feel bad about expressing yourself. That's why you have a mouth. Open it up and use it, right? So this is Ilyasah Simpson of the Charge Room, aka Minister Charge, aka Coach Illy. And I just want to let y'all know, remember to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube. And remember, follow me at WDIM Radio Talk Show host for iHeartRadio every Sunday at 12:30 p.m. And any businesses looking to be exposed to a larger clientele, let me know. Any new artists that want new music to be heard on the radio, let me know. Hit me up at the charge room at gmail.com and we sit down and discuss it, and we can see how you advertise the radio. So once again, thank you so much for coming into the Charge Room tonight. This is Ilyasah Simpson signing off until next week. Have a good night. Bye-bye.